Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Around the Sound Sports. My name is Ben Ray, your local sports reporter here in Federal Way, Kent, Auburn, and Renton. This week's episode will go over some baseball games with some playoff implication and even some playoff fast pitch out in the Kinko tournament. Please remember to subscribe here on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Around the Sound Sports Pod, where we'll post episodes or we'll post clips from this episode on our Instagram. Keep on liking those videos, sharing those videos, send them to your friends, send them to your aunts and uncles. We appreciate all the support that we are getting on that platform. With that being said, we will start out at Auburn Riverside, where the Ravens took on Kentwood in a really high-level baseball game where the Ravens and the Conchs were 2 of 4 teams that are tied, looking for the final 3 spots in the NPSL to make the playoffs. And the intensity was clear from the beginning. And for Kentwood, they couldn't have gotten off to a better start.
Kent School District I have 115 so far. I'm at April 1st. I got a new.
The Conchs scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings and it looked like they were going to control the game. They were threatening. They were aggressive at the plate, on the mound. There was a real presence to Kentwood. But all of a sudden it fell apart. Auburn Riverside, thanks to Cameron Bain's return, was able to put up 6 runs in the 3rd inning and ride that momentum into the sunset and really put themselves in a good position to make the playoffs. And here's head coach Brad Comstock of Auburn Riverside following the win over Kentwood.
I think it comes down to one thing, man. I think having Bain back just changes the mentality, and it just changes our outlook on baseball, right? He's not going to let these guys give up in the second inning. It's just not what's going to happen.
Comstock gave a ton of credit to Cameron Bain for his return. A guy who hurt his hamstring less than 3 weeks before this game. He knew he wanted to come back. It was his senior night. And for Comstock to have that trust in a guy who hasn't played since April 15th, that was really impressive to see. Bain picks up 2 RBIs. He picks up 2 hits. And he even comes in and gets the save. And here's Comstock talking about the ability to compete from his senior pitcher.
Man, love that kid to death. I don't know if there was ever a world where he was not going to let me not play him tonight on senior night of all nights. So we had a goal in mind when he went down, and he's worked hard, man. He's been in physical therapy, he's done his rehab, and hit his numbers on his lifts and all the things he was supposed to with eyes on tonight.
In that 3rd inning, Auburn Riverside sent 10 batters to the plate. They scored just 4 hits. They caused a lot of problems on base for the Conchs, and they were able to just do enough. They were able to do their jobs, as Comstock says, and here he is talking about their ability at the plate to do what they have to do, not go above and beyond expectations, but just do their job. And here's Comstock about his hitter's approach.
They all calmly just did their jobs, right? Evan Walker lays down a great drag bunt. A sack situation, but with him, I'm always like, hey, man, maybe drag for a base hit. We accomplished maybe even more than we wanted to here. And then, man, I thought sophomore Madden Bigliola, just big ball in the gap there. He's really been hot the last 2 weeks. A guy that kind of got an opportunity a couple weeks ago because Minnesota got the flu and been getting chances to shine and just kind of earned a spot.
Like I said, this was game 1 of the series, and Kentwood got off to a great start. And then they just could not keep the gas on against the Ravens. But Cassius Culpepper was fantastic in this series. He goes 4 for 7. He picks up a pair of doubles, scores 3 times. He picks up 2 RBIs and a walk. But the Conchs just could not get enough momentum and keep that momentum for all 14 innings against the Ravens. In Game 2, Kentwood lost 6-5, and they were leading 5-0 and gave up 2 runs in the 4th and 4 runs in the 5th to fall in Game 2 to the Ravens. The result of that loss and Kentridge sweeping Mount Rainier forced a 1-game playoff between Kentwood and Mount Rainier, and the Conks could not come through in that game and had the tying run on 3rd and the winning run on 1st in the 7th inning, but were not able to come through in the clutch in that game, and the Conqueror season ends against Mount Rainier. Cameron Bain was the difference maker for Auburn Riverside as he produces at the plate, he produces on the mound, and here he is talking about the feeling and the emotional reaction to coming back and playing, as when his name was announced as the 2-hole hitter against Kentwood, it might have been a standing ovation.
And then you get hurt on top of it. Being sidelined these last few weeks, the weather's been much better. Watching my guys have all that fun, it hurts me a lot. Like, as selfish as it sounds, I want to be out there and I want to be the guy launching balls. It's hard. Sorry.
And then on Tuesday, we'll stay on the baseball diamond and head out to Thomas Jefferson, where it was a long day for both teams, a long couple of days for both teams, as Game 1 of the series went 11 innings without a winner, tied at 6 apiece, and that game had to be continued on Tuesday in the 11th inning, in the bottom of the 11th, with 2 on, 2 outs. And Logan Eckert at the plate. Eckert had about 24 hours, or less than 24 hours to think about an entire at-bat. He comes up in the 11th inning and he pops out. But he later comes up in the 14th and delivers the walk-off hit for Auburn Mountain View to keep their postseason playoff hopes alive, because they were 2 games behind, or they were a game behind Thomas Jefferson. They needed to win both. They won the first in 14 innings, 7-6, thanks to Eckert. And here's Jay Swanson following the win over Thomas Jefferson.
In big situations, like, we knew it was win or go home, so we knew we had to step it up, show some more fight than we ever did this season. Obviously, at the end of the year, got to win games to make it to playoffs. So, just got to do more.
They forced a winner-take-all game in Game 2 of that series, which was played just half an hour after the 14-inning marathon of Game 1. And Swanson took the ball coming off of an impressive start against Kent Lake, where he went 6 innings, gave up just 1 run, and he delivered once again. But he got off to a shaky start. Thomas Jefferson took a 4-1 lead in the first couple of innings, but then Swanson settled in, silenced the bats, and he was the beneficiary of a big inning in the 6th inning against the Raiders in Game 2 of that series. Auburn Mountain View scored 9 runs in the top of the 6th inning after trailing 4-1 pretty much the entirety of the game. They're able to send 14 hitters to the plate. They had just 5 hits, but 5 free passes were given out by Thomas Jefferson pitchers, 3 walks and 2 hit by pitches to really add on to the pain in that 6th inning. And they just weren't able to get any outs. They were able to steal an out from a stolen base with a great pick by Kingston Edwards, but Thomas Jefferson was just not able to stop the bleeding in that 6th inning. Jay Swanson then minimizes the damage, allowing just 2 singles the rest of the way for Auburn Mountain View as he finishes the game really strong on the bump. And here he is following the Game 2 win against Thomas Jefferson.
That helped me a lot, gave me way more confidence on the mound, knowing that I got, like, insurance and stuff. So I knew I could throw strikes. My defense got me. And we had a lot to it. We fought very hard for the last 6 games to make this position. And we're going to get a few players back from injury in the playoffs, so that's going to help us a lot. We got to minimize errors on defense, because that doesn't really help you a lot. And just got to be solid on the mound and get the bats a little hotter.
And then we took a couple days off, and we'll go ahead to Friday, where the Liberty Patriots were on the fast pitch diamond out at Juanita High School against Inglemoor in the Kingco Championship. And it's the second meeting these two teams have faced, and the Patriots just were not able to get enough offense going. They lost 2-0 to the Vikings. And here's head coach June Huh following the loss to Inglemoor.
Half the score, right? That's one thing, right? So, but on the positive side, you tagged the ball a handful of times. One of those drops, and it's a whole different ball game, right? So, I told him that keep your heads up, right? Those are going to drop. That's softball, right? You can't aim. Like, you just hit it hard somewhere, and they'll start dropping. So, other than that, when we play,
In the first meeting, Liberty won 4-3 over the Vikings, but it gave Junha a little insight into exactly what was going down especially with Inglemore. The Vikings have the shapings of exactly what his team looked like when they won the state tournament last year. And here he is talking about how dangerous Inglemore can be as a fast pitch team this season.
that was good to see. I mean, there was an inning. I don't know if it was fourth or fifth inning when we got the bases loaded, right? So yeah, they were there was it was 2 outs and they were fighting. Right? It's just sometimes you come up a little bit short, right? We did, but yeah, it was good to see. It had been a while since we played a quality team, and I've been telling people that team right there looks like us last year, meaning they played in the upper division. They had some losses against tough teams, which we had last year, and I've told them and others as well. Anybody that'll listen, that's a team to watch out for, right? I don't want to see them, get to state and then all of a sudden, oh my God, no. Yeah. I've known since the beginning that was a good team.
Avery Hutt in the circle just allowed 3 hits in the 6 innings, but 2 of the hits were costly. A triple from Campbell Looney in the 3rd inning scored the first run, and then a double from Emily Dislett was the difference as she hit a double in the bottom of the 6th inning to take a 2-0 lead over the Patriots. And now we'll look at the playoff picture as far as district tournaments as the calendar flips to May and the playoffs are on our doorstep here in the NPSL and KingCo. We'll start out with the tournaments that have begun already, and that's the 3A and 4A soccer tournaments here as the local teams in action. Enumclaw took a 2-1 win over Central Kitsap in the first day of the District 3 tournament as they now move on to play Auburn Mountain View on May 12th in the district quarterfinal round. White River lost 3-1 to the 10th seeded Timberline Blazers, an upset for sure. But White River was a team that had been playing so well up into the district tournament, and it seems like that luck has run out. And Timberline will play Gig Harbor in the quarterfinals. Decatur gets 12th seeded Bellarmine, who won their first round game, as the Gators look to reach the state tournament for the first time since 2016. And Kent Meridian, a 2-1 winner over 8th seeded North Thurston, with Johnny Lopez scoring 2 goals for the Royals. Kent Meridian will play Silas, the, I believe, number 1 seed in District 3 on May 12th as they look to get back to the state tournament. In 4A, Tahoma, a surprise loss. I guess technically it's not a surprise loss, but I mean the Bears have been so good all year. They lost to 3rd seeded Puyallup 2-1, and they now play 11th seeded Curtis. Number 10 Kennedy blew out Rogers 7-1, and they play Olympia in the next round. Auburn upset number 12 Graham Kapowsen, and now the Trojans move on. They overcame a 2-0 deficit, and they won 3-2. They now play Emerald Ridge in the second round of the district tournament. And Mount Rainier beat Union 2-0 and will play Camas in the second round at the 4A District 3 tournament. And now for on the baseball side of it, the 3A tournament gets started, or all of the games will begin on May 12th in the 3A and 4A District 3 tournaments. Auburn Mountain View takes on Silas, and the winner of that game gets Kent Lake in the 3A tournament. Capital takes on Enumclaw in that first round match, and that winner gets Peninsula. And Decatur is awaiting the winner of White River and Central Kitsap. And for the 4A, now we'll bounce over to the 4A tournament where Kennedy Catholic takes on number 3 Sumner, and Kent Ridge looks to continue their good play as of late against 15th seeded Bonnie Lake. Auburn Riverside, we talked about them earlier, they will take on Graham Kapowsen as the Ravens are the 13th seed in this year's District 3 tournament. And Mount Rainier will take on Puyallup, who sneaks in as the Rams are the 16th seed in this District 3 tournament at the 4A. And Tahoma was given the number 1 seed, an impressive win over Decatur, a 2-1 win over the Gators, as both league champs played each other in a non-league game last week. And the Bears play Union. That'll be it for this episode of Around the Sound Sports. My name is Ben Ray, your local sports reporter. We're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going on vacation, so we won't have any coverage these next couple of weeks. The podcast will resume when I get back, but it won't be till about the first week of June when we have the next episode live on our YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Follow us on Instagram at Around the Sound Sports Pod, and be sure to share those videos as well. I appreciate the support on those videos. Keep liking those up. I will start to link to the stories in the captions of those videos, so be sure to also subscribe to your local paper, the Federal Way Mirror, the KentReporter.com, the RentonReporter.com, and the Auburn-Reporter.com. Thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you around the sound.